we are live. Welcome everyone, I'm Tom Murphy. This is Trinidad Times TV on YouTube. And with me this morning is Pat Fletcher, Trinidad resident and all-around community involved person. You've had a lot of involvement since you've been here now 30, 40 years?
Longer than you.
Longer than us, yeah. Late 70s, right?
77.
1977, we got here in 81.
Yeah.
So your current involvement, Pat, is first. I knew you when you're in City Council, but your current involvement now is with Noah's Ark.
Yes, it is.
So, tell us about Noah's Ark: the past, the present, and the future.
Well, the past goes back to '92,
right?
And the history there is, a handful of women got together and said, let's approach the city about taking over Noah's Ark for them.
Right.
And running it, and made the agreement with the city back then, and I think that happened in '93, and it's been a partnership ever since.
Okay.
The city supports us somewhat with financing, and they do the animal control portion of Noah's Ark, and they and Noah's Ark went together to build the new shelter, which is going to open up probably mid-September, late August, mid-September.
Right.
We're anxious to get in there. There's been a hold-up with some of the doors didn't come in, and
Sure.
the setback when the COVID was preventing the suppliers from coming through.
Right.
But we're getting there. The governor the other day has said he and his partner, who is Marlon has an interest. His only interest right now is in animal welfare, is the cause that he's taken up.
Okay.
And he's been very supportive of Noah's Ark. Marlon has, from afar, on Facebook. But they'll be down here for the opening, so that'll be quite an event.
I plan on being there.
Oh,
yes.
Yes.
We'll stream it live to our YouTube channel.
Thank you.
So people will be able to watch that.
Thank you. Yeah, that's going to be a big deal. The biggest deal since '92 when it first started out. Yeah.
Well, the facility you're in now, what was wrong with it?
Oh my goodness, the animals outgrew that 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay Chimino was very, very kind in letting us stay there as long as he did. He's bought the property now, but he hasn't told us we have to move out. Thank you for that. But it was run down. It's been there since, I think we opened that in '96, '97.
Right.
It's been there a long time.
Right.
It's time to move.
Right. And it was just antiquated. You had issues with the, keeping the animals and whatnot.
Yeah.
So how many animals at the current facility can you take?
Can we take?
I mean, can you have at one time?
Well,
cats, dogs, and whatever other animals that you take.
Actually, we take all animals. If we can't keep them, if we're full, there's a transfer agreement with Colorado and New Mexico with other shelters. So we get a hold of other shelters and say, can you take 5 dogs? Yes, and then we'll transport them down.
Right.
So it's virtually become a no-kill shelter. I feel comfortable saying
that's good.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If the animal comes in sick or injured, we do everything possible with the veterinarians to save them.
Right.
And it gets expensive, but we're not going to do anything other than try and make them well.
Right.
Make them whole.
Right. So the need for a new shelter became apparent 10 years ago, as you said?
Oh yeah. Even longer, maybe.
Yeah.
We've managed, and the animals they've been relatively happy that way, but they're going to be so much happier now with the new facility.
Right. So what's it like in there? I mean, what's the improvements that you've made?
Well, first of all, it's a new building with lots and lots of room for the animals.
Right.
There's going to be state-of-the-art, like a viewing room for the cats and the dogs.
Okay.
So the prospective owner can go in there and mingle with their prospective animal.
Right.
Get to know them, see if they're compatible. And it's kind of a private little room where they can get together and just play.
Right.
And then big kennels for the cats and dogs. We have an education room that's going to be fully furnished with AV, tables, chairs, anything we need for teaching
animal
care and things like that, to the public and the kids both.
Okay. Well, isn't one of the issues and that you've addressed in the new building is ventilation?
Yeah, that's been taken care of. Laurel came to the forefront on that, our director.
Right.
And noticed, no, wait a minute, this isn't the way animal shelters do their ventilation. She knew that. And they went back and fixed that.
Okay. So that in your new building, that's all taken care of.
It is.
Yeah.
The new building's ready to go, except for the things like the doors. We need
Right.
doors.
Right.
They're coming. They're
Okay.
coming.
Well, that's great. So, I started doing the television, I think, in 2005.
Yeah.
And we have briefly done a few shows for Noah's Ark. And it's my intention now, because we're on 24/7 and YouTube is on, whenever you want to watch it.
Yeah.
We're live right now. But my offer is to come back and start filming again.
Yeah,
and help you guys out.
That would be so helpful. It's one thing seeing the dog's picture or the cat's picture on the Facebook or like it used to be in the newspaper. It's another thing to actually see the dog and the person live.
Right. Well, I can do that.
Yeah.
I'll be able to do that for you.
That'd be great. And we're going to have the facility now to do that in a very nice surrounding.
One of the things that'll need, Pat, is internet connection, Ethernet. So I'm sure you guys are going to
pretty
put
sure
in.
we're going to have it. Yeah.
I'm sure you'll have internet. So that'll be one of the things. If I can plug in, that would help out quite a bit.
That'd be fun. That would be so good for us. Thank you.
So, where did your love of animals come from?
Oh my goodness. Childhood, when my folks let me have cats and dogs.
Right.
Got to love them, and then my son came along and didn't have a dog or cat until he came along, and got him a Benji dog just for his companionship.
Right.
And fell in love with dogs ever since then too.
Yeah.
With his little dog.
Well, I was a dog person. Now I have cats, because dogs don't really work in my house.
I love your oldie goldie one. Is she still around?
Oh, she's going on. She's going to be, well, she's 15 and a half.
Oh my goodness.
And she exists in our bedroom.
Yeah.
The litter's down the hall. But the food is in the bathroom, and we have a ladder because we noticed that she couldn't get up, and not a ladder but steps to get onto the bed.
Yeah.
So, and she pretty much camps out where my feet are supposed to go.
I've seen her in your office, is where I know her from.
Yeah. Her name's Muji. We got her as, my stepson Zach brought her in one time. I had two sister cats that I had, and I'd lost one to kidney problems, and the other one was ill. And I didn't want another cat, but he brought the cat in, and she was tiny. She was the size of a softball and dirty. And I'm like, no, we're not keeping her. I put her outside with some food and water. And at 3 o'clock in the morning, I was like, oh man. So I go out looking for her on the porch, and she was in the rain gutter. Like, I said, get in here. And so she had to turn around, and she's like 10 feet above the ground. And I'm like, oh no, this could go bad. But she turned around, she came in, and then the one cat that I had, Farah, I had 2 sister cats, Jackie and Farah. Kate never showed up. Didn't know names for cats, so Jackie, Farah, Kate, you know who that is? Charlie's Angels.
Oh, okay.
70s, Farah, Jacqueline Smith, Kate Jackson, Farah. So I named them after Charlie's Angels. It's just Kate didn't show up. So Farah, the white one, walks in, and Muji comes in, this tiny little kitten, and she stands up like a bear. It's just like, whatever, and walked on, and then Muji disappeared. For like 2-3 days we couldn't find her, and then she popped out of wherever, and she'd cleaned herself up. I mean, because she was really grungy, and she must have gone and licked and cleaned and whatever, and
she wanted to be presentable.
Yeah, and she was such a little ball of fun. We would be sitting in the living room, and we have a couch this way and a couch this way and the TV over here. Yeah. And she would come in and leap, boom, 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 like almost all the way across. Yeah. And then as she got bigger, she would, she had to take more steps. Yeah. But when she was little, she practically leaped across the whole room.
So, a keeper.
Oh, I love animals. And she's been a part. I've never had a pet this long. Yeah. 15 and a half years. Yeah. That's a long time.
Long life.
And you know what is working the best with her, because she's slowed up quite a bit, is CBD water.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
She drinks it?
Oh yeah. We pour it in her thing, and you can tell she gets some relief.
Really?
Yeah, because she's
Good to
kind
know.
of got a little bit of osteo, I guess, going on.
Yeah.
But she can be still pretty darn cranky.
Do they make it for animals?
We just give her the human version.
Oh.
So
It's good to know.
she seems to be doing okay.
Yeah.
And see Rusty Goodall over here. Maybe I can get him to come over
Yeah.
and talk.
Speaking of Noah's Ark, we got a booth. We got half an hour to still come down
Right.
to Noah's Ark's booth. We've got a lot of
I can let this
pet
go.
items.
Yeah.
You want me to go grab Rusty?
No. Yeah, we'll motion him over here.
Okay.
So, what else about Noah's? So, funding. You guys always could use donations, right?
Yes, we go after grants, but oh my goodness, yes. And people have been very forthcoming with donations.
Yeah.
Even people that don't have animals
Right.
donate because they love Noah's Ark, as they should.
Right.
It's been a very, very worthwhile board to be on. For years I've been on the board.
Right.
Very, 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 very rewarding
Right.
to help the animals.
Okay.
I gotta say that, yeah.
Well, why don't you, folks? We're going to see if Pat can go over and grab Rusty Goodall.
I will do
City
that.
Councilman.
Okay.
And we got to unmic you, so take
Okay.
your thing off there,
There, I would have walked away with it.
and tell him I'd like for him to come sit and interview.
Okay. Take it.
Oh, all right. Urgh. Got it.
All right. Bye.
Pat, thank you.
Uh-huh.
I have an empty chair.
How long?
Hey, as long as you want and about whatever you want.
We got a couple minutes. We had first time we've left the new dog alone.
Oh, I've seen pictures.
Yes.
Handsome dog. Let's clip you on right there.
All right.
Okay. So, hey everybody, this is Rusty Goodall, City Councilman, all around good guy, very active in the community. Tell us what's going on, Rusty.
Man, where do you begin with so much going on with
Right.
everything at Fisher's Peak, with the first full coal train being loaded for the first shipment out of town to fill the first load to China.
When's that's happening now?
They're loading it right now as we speak in Jansen. They got the pile. It's a full mile-long coal train sitting there, and they're filling them up, getting them ready to go. He's got 3 loads sold. This will be the first one going.
Right.
I mean, they even sold a little coal to the Pueblo Steel Mill, and they loved it. So he says when they get more coal, that's going to happen. The end of the month, first event outdoors in the entertainment district.
Right.
Trinidad Blues Fest first year with the Americana and Latin music. So that's happening on the 31st. Of course, Trinidadio's coming. Artocade's back. Outdoor events. Farmers markets going on again. Tom, I mean,
Right.
man,
Right.
beautiful. We had a real spring. There's moisture. Everything's green.
Yep.
We're going back in a monsoon flow. Can life get much better, Tom?
It can.
It can.
It can always
You're
get
right.
better. And you've been here a long time like I have.
Yes.
You've seen good times, you've seen bad times.
I have.
And how do you feel about our future?
So that's probably the most exciting part of all, Tom, is the fact that we're not a one-trick pony anymore.
Right.
We're not relying on methane gas. We're not just relying on a coal mine. We're not just relying on tourism. We're not just relying on marijuana anymore. We have all of those.
Right.
And to be diversified in our economy, steady population growth now for a couple of years, and it's only going to continue. They broke ground on La Porta at the Garden Hilton. Americana Road's going to go in soon. I think we're going to see that fill up. I mean, the growth is going to be sustained. I'm already hearing rumors of Lowe's or Home Depot again, and looking at the property next to Big O. They've looked at that before. They've also looked at Tony Paradise's property. I think they just look for sustained growth. We're going to see bigger stores like that, maybe some 24-hour restaurants, so Denny's or IHOPs, who knows, why
Right.
come in. It's good stuff, Tom. I'm
Yeah.
excited as a council person.
Well, and they're going to have a gravel grinder.
They are.
Well, a lot of people don't realize that Los Animas County is, I think, the 5th largest area-wise in the United States.
in the United States,
and
yeah.
we have 1,700 miles of county roads.
Yes.
And so Fruita, Colorado, which was nothing years ago, has developed into this major bicycling community.
Right.
And we're having our first event the first weekend of October.
Right.
Along with Santa Fe Trail's 200th anniversary.
I'm the liaison to that committee and stuff. Been working with Marty and the bunch. What a great bunch of people. I mean, Indian chiefs coming in. The Buffalo Soldiers are going to be here riding in formation. Goes on and on. Everything that's going to happen there.
Like I said, we've been here for a long time. We've seen good times. We've seen bad times. It's almost mind-boggling what's happening. How it's all just coming together and working.
It is. It is. Exciting times. Elections coming up real soon. We'll see what the new face of City Council is going to look like. 4 positions up. It's the time for the people, regardless of who you're going to vote for, to get out and vote. If you don't like what's there,
right,
find a candidate that you want in there that'll make the changes you want. If you like what's going on there, then you can put the people back in that are there. But this is everyone's chance as voters to make their statement.
So I've been filming government for a long time. I'm always intrigued by the people that run. What motivated you to run?
Well, so I was a commercial contractor for over 20 years. I'm going to work one morning, 2 days after my birthday, 7:15 in the morning. I catch a blind spot with the kid and I get T-boned on my motorcycle. I find out I still fly pretty good, 12 feet through the air. My landings suck. So wound up broken back, messed up hip. They disabled me. So I went to my wife and I said, I am going to fish and ride my motorcycle every day. And she says, the hell you are. And I said, I'm going into politics. And she goes, you must be crazy. I said, I am,
right,
but it's going to help.
Right.
It's going to help. And, I've been in public service here over 25 years as Santa Claus. With Senator Ben Nighthorse Campbell with A-Beta, Colorado, fighting for motorcycle rights. Raising money for kids with cancers so their families could take them to treatments and be with them. I was with the Chamber of Commerce, with the Trinidad EO Blues Fest, and before City Council, planning and zoning for almost 5 years.
Right.
So public service, I'm one of them people that believe if you want to complain about what's going on, you need to earn that right by being part of the solution.
Right.
I've earned my right to bitch as much as I want.
I agree. I listen to a lot of friends that wax eloquently about national politics, but it's like, do you know what? I ask them, who's on your city council? Who's your county commissioners? And they're like, it's like, don't you think government you should at least know what's going on locally?
It has to start locally. It's where you can make the biggest changes right here local.
Right.
And at the state level, you start losing a little bit of, I feel, the personalization of it. It becomes more like the federal government. I think it's swayed by money and friends.
Right.
And by the time you get to the federal government, it's just almost a lost hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where does the person like myself who sits in the middle that's not affiliated with either party wishing we would see the two come together for real change?
Right.
Instead of this, all the way left, all the way right, back and forth, Tom. It's gotten old.
Right. But you have had, again, people can wax whatever they want about national politics, but you've had an impact on the community by being involved.
And that's exactly it. Mayor Rico definitely spent a lot of that time in Denver. I was right hot on his heels. Spent times with the previous state's attorney general and with Mr. Weiser right now and the head of his task force, Heidi, on the opioids. We're seeing the settlements, money distribution. We're figuring out how it's going to go to the communities, mental health crisis. I'm proud of this stuff and the time I spent up at the state capitol.
Yeah.
Rural Colorado, not just Trinidad, rural Colorado, period. Every rural community, remember us.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've lived, like I said, we've both lived through good times, bad times. It's almost unimaginable what's happening right now.
It is.
The coal to come back.
I know. Who would have ever thunk it?
I mean, and I know that we had a big divide on marijuana in the community, but the fact is, it's legal, and it has helped grow our community. And I'm somebody that's invested a lot in a historic building.
Right.
The one thing I told people, it's like regardless of what happens, people are going to fix up their buildings, and they did.
Yes.
The electrical and the plumbing, it's astronomical. It's a money pit, but they had to spend the money and fix it up.
And it's funny you bring up the marijuana because they just had a big deal on the news this last week that everything they predicted that would happen with marijuana, teen use increase and everything else,
right,
is all the complete opposite.
Really?
Everything went the complete other way. So everything everyone feared was completely wrong. And
Right.
the impact it's made on this state and rural Colorado has been just nothing short of amazing. And how many times did Trinidad, Colorado make the state news and even some national news on
Right.
how we invested our marijuana money? Hiring more police officers, equipping them with cars and the weaponry they need for active shooter situations. I mean, we invested our money and have used it. And people are finally starting to see the benefits of it because forever, we were telling everyone, just give it time, you'll see it. Everything
Right.
you're seeing now, you don't see. It's not visible. Well, it's visible now when you drive up and down the streets.
Oh, it is. It's and from the revenue stream, seeing it in the city and what you get to do with it, it's amazing.
Yep.
I think it's a bit funny though because I know people that now that it's legal, don't. I think there's some whatever that when it was illegal that they
Right.
consumed.
Yeah.
Now that it's legal, they're just not interested.
Yeah.
I don't understand that, but it's. I know several people that are like I just lost interest now that it's legal.
And I don't smoke much anymore. I started smoking, my God, I'm going to age myself now, 47 years ago when I got high for the first time.
Right.
And I would say it's probably been the last 5 to 6 years I've
Right.
seen moving to edibles.
Right.
I use them for the pain. I use them for sleeping at night. I don't get high to get high anymore.
Right.
It is a true medicine for
Right.
me, and that's the greatest part about legalization and the studies and how it's brung it forth for that medicine to be available. I was definitely a child of the VA system where here, this pill fixes everything,
Yeah.
and addicted to the opioids. And I'm 3.5 years clean. I went in and told them they'll never write me another script, and have never taken another one.
I have a friend in town that we and I don't want to out him, but he was in the Wounded Warrior program, and he just saw. I mean the advertisements from the pharmaceutical companies in the hospital.
Yep.
And he went the marijuana route, and that's all that he does, and he looks amazing.
Yeah.
To this day.
You bet.
And I'm like you. I'm sorry. I grew up in the '70s too. We're about the same age.
Yep.
And it was in my high school. It was in my college. I know doctors. I know lawyers, and they didn't turn out to be bad people.
That's right.
It was, yeah, I smoked people too back in the day. So I'm not gonna like Bill Clinton. It's like I didn't inhale. That's BS.
BS.
It was all part of our lives. If you walked into a dorm room or a fraternity room, underneath the couch was a bar tray with somebody's ID or whatever, and for to clean out the seeds and whatever.
Yep.
So it's after all this time, it's nice to know that it's legal because I just like alcohol, people can overconsume anything, but I don't know too many people ODing on marijuana.
That's right. That's called a good nap, Tom. An OD on marijuana is called a good nap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, hey,
Thanks for giving me the time.
you bet.
I saw you here
know.
a couple weeks ago, and it's like I got to get him.
Yeah.
And thank you. And,
bet.
and thank you for serving,
bet.
not only militarily, but what you've done in the community, the Blues Fest, and now with council and everything. I know how important it is.
It is.
And so it's nice to have good people running for office. So God bless
Hi.
you, Rusty. Thanks, man.
You bet, Tom.
All right, bud.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome.
What's the pup's name?
Norman.
Was that your idea
Nope.
to replace, or
Well,
because
as soon as Lisa from Blue Lion Rescue or whatever her company is, found out that Franny had passed, she's like, I've got Norman up here. They flew him to me from Arizona. He's had a bad life. Norman really needs you. We didn't plan on it. So we go up to Springs just to see. And Michelle sits down and Norman comes over and sits in her lap and won't leave our side. And we're like, I guess we're going home with the dog today.
that's awesome, actually.
Man, and he is, they never A new one never fills the void of an old one. It just makes the recovery
Right.
process a little easier.
Yeah, and they need love.
They definitely need lots of
Cool.
love. All
Thank
right,
you,
have
Rusty.
a blessed day, my friend.
You too. All right, folks, we're going to see if we can round up somebody else to interview. Let me turn the camera here around so you can see what's going on here. We'll just watch for a little bit. Actually, no, turned the wrong camera. Anyway, folks, we have put in 25 minutes. I don't see anybody else that I can interview. So anyway, you guys have a great Saturday. Get out, go down to Phil Long Toyota. Check out their cars. They got some other things going on there today. I think it's a car show or whatever. So thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Trinidad Times TV. Share it with your friends. This is not a monetized channel, but it still helps me to get as many subscribers as I can.